And it is time. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Hack Smarter Twitch channel, or if you're watching this after the fact, welcome to my YouTube channel. It is good to have you hanging out with me tonight. I'm going to get Twitch pulled up on my other monitor so I can watch the chat. Have a few fun things, I think, planned for us tonight. We'll see how it goes. The first thing I want to talk about is the new OSCP exam. So if you follow the OSCP or follow offensive security, you will know, well, not really a new exam. I should back up a little bit. It's not a new exam. The exam itself is staying the same with a few minor exceptions, but the course that prepares you for the exam sounds like it's having a major overhaul. It's gotten some backlash, some positive stuff, and I just want to dig into it ourselves. Let's read through some of the material. So a little less like hands-on hacking right away. I promise we'll get to that, but just for the first part of the stream, personally, I just want to learn more about the new course that they're releasing. And if you are interested in taking the OSCP exam, hopefully you find this beneficial as well. I will say I passed the OSCP on my first attempt back in December. So if you do just have practical questions about the exam or training, I will answer those to the best of my ability. If you ask them over on Twitch, at least I'll do my best to answer them without OffSec removing my certification, because they're strict about that. But that being said, let's dig into it. So I'm looking over the chat. Ross said additional labs and exercises and removing some exercises. Super exciting. Cool. So I really haven't looked at this too much. I just got some main links pulled up to check out. The first thing I want to answer is if you are new to offensive security or hacking in general, you might be confused. Like, you have the OSCP right here. That's a certification. That's the exam. So what the heck is this PEN-200 that everybody's talking about? Matter of fact, when I first signed up for the OSCP, I was a little confused on that. So the OSCP is the exam itself. It's the 24-hour proctored exam where you hack stuff. Then you have another 24 hours to write a professional pen test report to pass the exam. So OSCP, that is the exam. That's a certification that you earn. But the course that prepares you for the OSCP is called the PEN-200. Now, the thing that's a little bit frustrating is you cannot just take the OSCP exam. So you can't just sign up saying, look, I don't want your training. I just want to take the exam. To take the OSCP exam, you first have to sign up for the PEN-200. Whether or not you do it, I mean, honestly, that's up to you. But you do have to sign up for that to take the course. I also believe they recently raised the price, right, of the exam. Let's check it out. When I took the exam, I paid $1,500, didn't have an employer that paid for it, so that was out of my own pocket to invest in my own career. It was actually $14.99, so it looks like they have raised it by $100, if I remember right from what I paid. That gives you the one course, which is the PEN-200 course, 90 days of lab access, one exam attempt, and nothing else, which is a steep price point, honestly, for the material that you get. You have the Learn One subscription. They claim it's the best value. I don't know if any of it is the best value when you go based on price. But that you're looking at $2,500 a year. You get the one course, PEN-200. Well, Learn One, I thought you got more than that. I don't know. You get a full year of lab access, 2 exam attempts. Oh, and here's the other stuff. You get unlimited of the fundamental content, and then it looks like you get some extra exams thrown into that. Mr. T. Pepper said inflation. Yeah, although I will say TCM Security, they didn't raise their prices for their exams, and are not arguably, they have better training, and it's much more affordable. But okay, that's what you're looking at for the price. Now, the only reason I still really promote the OSCP is the name recognition of it. If you want to land a job as a penetration tester, the OSC certification is still the gold standard in many people's minds. In particular, it's the gold standard in the minds of HR, and HR is the gatekeeper to get to that interview. So truly, if you are outside of the pen testing field, you want to land your first pen testing job, you will not go wrong by earning the OSCP certification. It is pricey, right? $1,600, but compared to a degree, an associate's or even a bachelor's degree, that's crazy cheap, crazy affordable. And I would argue the OSCP is going to give you better traction than a degree in general if you want to get into pen testing. So that's the OSCP. The PEN-200, once again, is a course that you use to prep for the OSCP, and they had a major overhaul of this course. So let's dig into what this overhaul is, and I'll try to explain kind of what it was when I did it. I'm glad we have dark mode here. So let's first read this document. We have the PEN-200 updated for 2023. So it was last updated approximately 3 years ago, and we're ready to announce the next phase of its evolution as the premier penetration testing training and certification course on the market. Might disagree with that. In this blog post, we'll explain why we are updating this course, what the changes are, and when and how they are happening. We'll also discuss how the changes will impact the course material, the labs, and exam for current and future learners, which might be you. Grab a snack. I got a water. Hold on tight. Here we go. There's a lot of content here, and we highly suggest you take your time and read it all carefully. Oh my goodness, I can't say that word. OSCP petted something. It means teaching method, y'all. I don't know how. I always screw up when I try to enunciate that, but that just means like their teaching method. So we're going to replace it with teaching method because I'm not smart enough to enunciate that word. What up, Esperan? The primary reason to update PEN-200 at this time is teaching method. That is to say, OSCP's methodology for I'm looking over at the Twitch chat. Pedagogical. I'm still not saying it, y'all. We're just going with teaching method. None of these big fancy words. This is to say, OSCP's methodology for creating and publishing educational content has evolved significantly over the past 3 years. The concepts of learning units, learning objectives, module exercises, and challenge labs are reflected in courses like SOC 200 and Web 200, but are not yet fully represented within PEN-200. With this update, we aim to restructure the PEN-200 course and labs to better reflect a more modern approach to learning. We'll also take the opportunity to improve the content itself, both in terms of how it is written as well as the breadth and depth it covers. If you really want to adapt to a more modern approach to learning, lower the price for the exam. like Hack the Box Academy has a very similar pathway for like $8 a month if you're a student or $20 a month if you're not a student. So a more modern approach to learning means make it a little more open source. My suggestion to OFSEC would be make the PEN-200 course optional. And I think that's how it was back in the days of Backtrack. I don't know if there was a course that prepped you, but the goal was to get the certification. They don't care how you got to it. So in my opinion, I should be able to pay a slightly cheaper price to sign up for just the certification if I want to do my own training. And that's what I did, guys. When I took the OSCP, I started their course, got frustrated, and I used TCM Security, TryHackMe, Hack the Box Academy, passed the OSCP exam on my first attempt in 8 hours, not even using their own material. So in my opinion, you should have that option. So if anyone from OFSEC is listening, that is my perspective on the PEN-200 type stuff. Let me share some other perspectives though. Max Thor said, I enjoyed very much PEN-200 past OSCP February with AD included, pointing to PNPT now. Awesome. So, right, we all have different perspectives. I was not a fan. I passed. Mr. Thor was a fan, and he passed. So it might just be different people learn differently. So that's awesome. He says going for the PNPT now. Good. Let me know what you think of the PNPT. I haven't taken it myself, but I've heard so many good things about it, especially in the AD side of it and just the more realistic aspect of it. What up, Tyler Ramsbey fan? Good to have you here, my friend. All right. What's changing? Everything. Even the price. The price is going up $100. Some learning modules of PEN-200 are being removed and incorporated into other learning paths as they no longer make sense to have part of the course. The rest are undergoing a significant overhaul. Each learning module contains 4 essential ingredients. We have learning units, which are atomic, easily digestible, and self-contained pieces of content that can be absorbed in just a few hours. Learning objectives communicate to learners and their employers the exact knowledge, skills, and abilities they will attain in a given learning unit. And module exercises give learners the opportunity to apply their knowledge in a hands-on environment so that they can reinforce what they learn in a particular learning unit. Capstone exercises are new with PEN-200 and test a learner on the content of an entire module. Hey, y'all, this is like straight from Hack the Box Academy. They already had some of this stuff on the PEN-200, but this capstone exercises, I mean, this is the exact flow of Hack the Box Academy. That's the first thing that stands out to me. If you haven't done Hack the Box Academy, when you do it, you'll notice like, yes, this is how Hack the Box Academy does it, including the capstone exercises before it was cool. Really feels like they're ripping that off Hack the Box Academy, but it is what it is. Each new PEN-200 module contains these ingredients, which allow learners to really sink their teeth into the material before they go on to tackle the brand new PEN-200 challenge labs. More on the labs later. I might even jump over to Hack the Box Academy to show you guys how similar this is. I can't like live stream Hack the Box Academy exercises, but I can give you guys a brief overview. I think I actually reached out to Hack the Box and they gave me permission to do that, so I should be good doing a brief overview. Looking over at the chat, Cyber Insight Canada is trying to tell me how to pronounce that P word. I'm still not going to attempt it. Brand said, I'm a little excited for the new PEN-200 course. Yeah, I think it's going to be good. And Ross said, yeah, that's definitely a rip. I think from Hack the Box Academy is what he's saying. All right. The following is a very high level syllabus of what 200 will look like after the update is complete. So we have general course info, intro to cybersecurity, effective learning strategies, report writing. That's cool. That's one that I'm quite sure was not on the old one, which is, of course, a helpful skill to learn report writing. I will also say Hack the Box Academy has an excellent module on report writing as well. Information gathering, vulnerability scanning, introduction to web app attacks, common web app attacks, SQL injection attacks. That might be new. I think that was all included on web apps before. Client-side attacks, locating public exploits, fixing, AV, password, Windows priv and Linux priv, port direction and SSH tunneling through deep packet inspection, Metasploit, AD, so some more AD. We have Active Directory introduction and enumeration, attacking Active Directory authentication, and lateral movement in Active Directory. Okay? Assembling the pieces, that was there before, and try harder. Gosh, I hate that phrase. The challenge labs. The full syllabus can be downloaded here. I don't know if I even want to look at it. Let's see if this is helpful at all. So we have setting up an attacking Kali VM. I just want to look at the ones that are new. So, this is like introduction to cybersecurity K. Well, come on. I'm in Kali right now. It's kind of silly that I'm kind of hating the OffSec while using their VM. But I do think the things they've done is awesome. I just feel like they've been taken over a little bit by the money aspect of it, which, happens to many organizations. But the people in OffSec all seem like solid people. And the OSCP, like I shared before, is, I would argue, the most valuable cert you can earn at the moment if you want to get into pen testing. Okay, report writing. Review the deliverables for penetration testing engagements. That's really good. Understand the importance of note portability, so being able to transfer it. Understand note-taking and general structure. Choose the right note-taking tool. Obviously, Microsoft Paint, right? Understand the importance of taking screenshots. Yeah, Microsoft Paint can do that. Use tools to take screenshots. Write an effective technical. Identify the purpose. That, hands down, that looks really, really good. That looks like a good addition. I'll give it to them. I like what they're doing with that, making it a lot more realistic and really help people get into pen testing. Because that's a part of pen testing I don't think a lot of people are aware of, is the importance of being able to write well and even speak well. Like, communication is huge if you land a role as a pen tester. A lot of this stuff was the same of what was already there. Here, I think the web apps, they expanded a little more, which, once again, really good, because if you land a job as a pen tester, generally you're going to be an associate or a junior pen tester, and you're going to spend the bulk of your time actually doing web apps. That's what I do right now. The vast majority of my engagements are web applications. So I'm glad they are going, it looks like, deeper into web apps in general. We have common web app attacks. Some of this is already on the old one, but it looks like they added more and updated it. Yeah, especially in the SQL side of it. Oh, that looks great. Automate. Okay, SQL map. Hey, so even if you learn it, make sure you don't use it in the exam. That is a tool that's banned from the exam. At least it was when I took it, which is only a few months ago. I'm assuming it's still banned. Okay, cool. I got a general idea of that. Let's keep glancing through here. So current learners will likely notice two important things. There are some modules from the current version of PEN-200 that appear to be missing, and there are new modules included here that aren't part of the current version of PEN-200. We will now go over each of these observations in turn and provide some more details. I'm glancing back at the chat. Mr. T. Pepper says, I'm going through the Hack the Box path now, and this looks almost copy-pasted. That's what I was saying, dude. This seems like way too close to Hack the Box Academy. Max Thor said, your motivating YouTube video before taking OSCP is a must. Thanks for that. Give a link so others can see that. Man, thank you. I appreciate it. I will, I'm going to get it pulled up on my other monitor, so I know you guys can't see this right now. I will pull up my OSCP video. It's like by far, hands down, my most popular video I've ever made on YouTube. Let me grab it. It has 30,000 views. That's crazy. All right, I'll grab the share link real quick, and I'll drop it here. There, so if you haven't seen my video, I just dropped it in the Twitch chat. That is my OSCP video. All right, let's keep glancing through this. So which modules are out? Good question. So the following modules will no longer be included. Getting comfortable with Kali Linux, command line fun. I can tell you it wasn't fun doing their courses, practical tools, bash scripting. Oh, thank you, OffSec. That module drove me crazy. Just because like the bash scripting you did, in my opinion, was very impractical and very like elite bash scripting that wasn't actually useful. Doing things that other tools do far better just to annoy me is how I felt. Introduction to buffer overflows. So they're taking buffer overflows out completely, which honestly makes sense. I can't say in any pen test I've done, I thought, here's a buffer overflow I'm going to attack. I think it's good to understand theory of how those exploits work and bad characters and things like that. But it does make sense not to have it in the OSCP, in my opinion. File transfers and PowerShell Empire, because I think PowerShell Empire is like dead, no longer supported, I think. In general, there are 3 distinct reasons why these subjects won't be included. All right, let's see them. 5 are already included in the network penetration testing essentials, so PEN-100, which contains all the prerequisite materials for PEN-200. Oh, so the fun bash scripting got put in that. The buffer overflow modules will be moved to another area in the OffSec learning library, probably the exploit development stuff. While we firmly believe that basic exploit development provides an excellent mental toolset for penetration testers, we recognize that in 2023 it's unlikely that vanilla buffer overflows will play any significant role in most penetration tests. That is true, and I will say, hats off. I don't have a hat to take off, but I did find their material on buffer overflows like actually really helpful. They explained it well, but I guess you don't get to read that anymore. Therefore, we are moving them from the course to another area so we can make room for more modern pen testing subjects, primarily web, privilege escalation, and Active Directory content. That's a good decision. Good job, OffSec, on that one. Finally, the PowerShell Empire module is also being moved elsewhere since the material is essentially duplicated in practice inside the Metasploit module. This has allowed us to expand on Metasploit as well. Makes sense. So which modules are in? There are 4 main areas that have undergone substantial expansion. Web applications is being expanded into intro to web apps, common web application attacks, and SQL injection. That's a good move on their part. Privilege escalation is being expanded into Windows PrivEsc and Windows PrivX. Okay, Hack the Box Academy. Port redirection and tunneling is being expanded into port redirection and SSH tunneling and tunneling through deep packet inspection. And AD is being expanded into AD introduction and enumeration, attacking AD authentication, and lateral movement in AD. All right, good decisions. I wonder if the day is coming when they're going to expand AD on the actual exam to make more of the exam about AD or a larger AD environment. I could see that day coming just because it's so prevalent in the real world, and I think that'd be a good move, honestly, on their part. Finally, we are also including 3 modules from our fundamental content to serve as an optional on-ramp: introduction to cybersecurity, effective learning strategies, and report writing for penetration testers. Okay, this says it's an optional on-ramp. Hey, y'all, if you are doing the OSCP and you have access to the PEN-200, go through the report writing. Just looking at the syllabus, it looks helpful, looks good. Even if it's optional, take the time to go through that one. I honestly think that one might be really helpful if you want to land a role as a pen tester. These areas represent what we believe are some of the most important subjects for modern penetration testers to learn, and I would agree. Brand new for 2023, the first PEN-200 module is available for free. Oh. Let's just glance at this. So this is just like the first module of getting started with PEN-200 stuff. And it looks like you're submitting flags, student mentors and support, setting up Kali, connecting to the PWK lab. It's just like Hack the Box. You have a VPN file that you use to connect. Really easy, really straightforward, at least when the VPN works. I've noticed the OffSec VPN seems to have more issues than the Hack the Box VPN, but it is what it is. How to approach the course, a model of increasing uncertainty. Okay. Where's their try harder crap at? I want to read about the capstone. While demonstration and application exercises are constrained to specific learning units, capstone exercises have a wider scope. In particular, they encompass the entire module. This increases the amount of uncertainty present because the learner may not know which techniques or concepts. Okay, Hack the Box Academy. In addition to a learning unit on exploiting Microsoft Office. Okay. Assembling the pieces. Challenge labs. Learning modules. So it's just giving us a big overview of what this looks like. Challenge labs preparation. Finally, trying harder provides a set of instructions and some further detail in challenge labs. We highly recommend completing all the modules, including assembly of the pieces, before beginning with the challenge labs. Okay, cool. The challenge labs. All right, the current version of the PEN-200 labs is monolithic in the sense that many learners have access to the same shared lab environment. Yes! Are they giving us, or giving, I'm not a learner anymore, but the benefit of this model is historically allowed us to give access to a high number of machines to all our learners. However, we recognize that learners today prefer to have exclusive access to machines so they do not get interference from other learners. In addition, the open lab environment can be especially intimidating to new learners who haven't had significant exposure to penetration testing before. For this reason, they actually listen, guys. For this reason, we will be implementing a new lab architecture consistent with our latest course. Every learner will receive access to their own environment. Wow. Within that environment, first of all, it's silly that this surprises me so much. We're paying $1,600 for 90 days of lab access. Darn right, you better have a private environment when Hack the Box does it for $10 a month. Within that environment, the learner can start sets of machines called challenge labs that are designed to help the learner work through particular penetration testing problems. As a learner progresses through the challenges, they will encounter progressively more difficult and more varied sets of machines. Wyra said, yeah, but not for the PEN-200 yet. Oh, really? Oh, just for this silly challenge lab? So not even... So they're not referring to like the PEN-200 like lab environment with all the connected machines. This is just the challenge labs. Oh, just for PEN-300? Wait, for this reason, it'll be consistent, such as PEN-300 and Web-200. Every learner will receive access to their own environment. I think they are talking about PEN-200. But it might just be the challenge labs. So basically, guys, when you do the PEN-200, you have the PEN-200 course, and then after the course, you have a bunch of labs. That might be the challenge labs. I'm not sure. It's a bunch of different machines that are connected to one another to simulate like a somewhat real penetration test. My biggest problem with this whole process, Wyra said there's still ways of getting this stuff set up for PEN-200. So the biggest frustration I had, and the reason I did not do much of the PEN-200 lab environment, is its shared infrastructure. You can start on a machine only to realize the machine's broken, or someone has left stuff on there, or you might be in the middle of a machine, or let's say you're trying to pivot into another network and you have your machine set up as pivoting. Another student can simply reset the machine, oops, and you have to redo everything you did up to that point. I went off on one of the office hours on Discord and just said, like, guys, we are paying, or I paid $1,500 for 90 days of lab access, and you can't even give me my own environment for the lab so I can learn this stuff. And someone responded to me by saying, well, that's just more realistic. You don't know when things are going to break, blah, 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 blah. Try harder. Like, no, it's just bad customer service. When I'm paying that much money, I could spin up my own lab environment in AWS for far less than that costs for 90 days. Figure it out. Okay. Rant over. The exam itself isn't going to change directly as a result of these updates, except in two regards: the buffer overflow machine and exam bonus points. Since buffer overflows will no longer be part of the course material, they will also be removed from the exam body of knowledge and no longer part of the exam. Good decision. With regard to bonus points on the exam, we have created a plan to make the transition phase during this update as painless as possible for our learners. Please see below for details. So, we'll talk about bonus points. Note that everything in the course material is able to be in the exam. Any new content that is included in the new version of the thing won't make its way to the exam until at least 6 months post-launch. Okay. How do I qualify for bonus points? In general, the formula for bonus points is the same as it is now. Complete 80% of the 2023 module exercises and submit the proof.txt of at least 30 PEN-200 lab machines, which may include both 2022 and 2023 machines. This means that any machines learners have already completed will count toward the bonus point requirements. In total, learners will need to compromise 30 machines, which may include any combination of machines from either 2022, 2023 lab environments. I will just say, guys, I did not do the 10 bonus points. I took my chances, passed the exam, mainly because I just got sick of working through their exercises. So if you want to do bonus points, go ahead, give it a shot. I did it without the bonus points, still passed. Although if I would have failed with 60 points, so passing is 70 points. If I would have failed with 60 points, I would have been frustrated. But I had more than enough points without the bonus points. So scenario 1, if you've already completed 80% of the 2022 module exercises but have not completed any lab machines, honestly, guys, I'm not going to read about the bonus points. I didn't get them in the first place. If you want bonus points, read about this on your own. Transition period. The biggest thing is this. Do 80% of every single topic and 30 lab machines. That's really all you need to know. If you have specific questions, read through this yourself or email OffSec and listen to what they have to say. Phase release plan. Though we are releasing the new version of PEN-200 today, not every learner will gain access to the new content and labs immediately. Of course. The reason for this staggered launch is to monitor our lab performance and ensure that learners' quality of experience is not negatively impacted. Here is the release schedule. Okay. Today, learners who begin that will obtain access. On March 22nd, learners who began that and that will obtain access. And on March 29th, all learners will obtain access. Learners that start PWK as of today will gain immediate access. Learners that purchase a lab extension will obtain access. Learners that purchase a lab extension do not currently have access to PWK will obtain access to new materials and new labs immediately. Drink of water. Okay, all learners will continue to maintain access to the current version. Okay, and here's some webinar stuff. It looks like we have webinar, Discord office hours, OffSec live. Glancing over the chat, Wyros said PEN-200. Oh, he's saying it's a ways out as far as private labs because PEN-200 probably has the most labs if I remember correctly. Yep, still less than Hack the Box. He says it forces good note taking at least. Cyber Insight Canada said interesting stuff. This makes me want to take the cert. Go for it, man. Like, give it a shot. It is a solid certification. Dot Robin said I started in December. I'm happy I didn't get too far. Kind of annoying. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's up to you if you want to do the labs. I posted my video a little earlier of how I passed the exam. I really didn't even use OffSec's material and passed the exam pretty quickly. And Max Thor said, I think it's too sad that having paid a lot of money won't give us access for the new content they published. I agree, dude. Like, I gave them $1,500 back in October. Like, isn't that enough money to give me another long PDF? Like, that should count for something, right? But no, you want access, you better pay for an entire new exam or the $2,500 Learn One subscription or whatever that is. Let's just glance at this. This is a frequently asked question. I think we already went through most of this. Will the exam change? Okay, I think this covers everything we already went through. Okay, just kind of glancing through this in my head. I don't need to read out loud for you guys. And then we have our events. Okay, cool. I was curious about Reddit. Like, one final part of our overview of this is to check this out. Looking over the chat, Dot Robin said, if you bought the 1 year in December, the Learn One, are you good then still? Yeah, I think so. Do you get re-access? You would, because you would have full 365 days of access. So you'd be good in that way. But I didn't. I didn't have a company that would pay for it, so I paid for my OSCP out of pocket, which was painful to my wallet, but I'm glad I passed. Okay, let's see what this guy has to say. Or girl, I don't know who it is. I don't know their gender. Awkward position where I've got 40% of lab exercise completed, so we'll need to either get to 80% by April to get bonus points or start again from 0. Hold up. Let me understand context real quick on what he's talking about. So I guess I will look at the bonus points. Scenario 1, if you already completed 80% of the 22 modules but have not completed lab machines yet, you will still need to submit proof.txt of 30 lab machines. Okay. Partial completion of module exercises do not carry over. Well, that is frustrating. That must be what the guy on Reddit is talking about. In particular, if you have not completed 80% of the module exercises for every module in the current version of PWK by April 18, 2023, then you will need to complete 80% for every... Oh, my goodness. So... Oh, that sucks. Like, if you're if you get to 70% and April 18th rolls around, start from the beginning. It doesn't carry over. Oh man, that would be frustrating. I guess depending on your timeline. Hold up, we're in March. That's a little over a month. I guess it depends kind of what you have going on in your life. Yeah, if they're at 40%, I mean, it's doable, right? To get to 80% by April to get bonus points. Just don't go for the bonus points. That would be my advice. Feels like a waste of my subscription, to be honest. Well, since buffer overflows is gone, there's something to be happy about. Yeah. Someone's like, hey, send me on Discord. I can help. Join me on Twitch. I can complain with you. That's about all I can offer you. Let's see. It's tough with a full-time job, though. And that's legit, y'all. Like having a full-time job, just for my context, I mean, I'm glad I passed, but I was working full-time. I have a wife. I have 2 young kids. It is really hard to get through all of this when you have life going on right now. If you're like a college student or just graduated college, maybe if you just honestly have a full-time job and you can dedicate evenings to this thing, but I couldn't. All my studying was done like at this time. I would work all day, and then when I got off work, I'd hang out with my wife and kids, and then I would wait till they go to sleep, and then I'd be back online. So I'd study most nights from like 8 p.m. to midnight, which really is a recipe for burnout. And I shared this on LinkedIn, but hey guys, like your mental health, your emotional health is way more important than a silly exam. So don't burn yourself out trying to get this stuff. Let's see what anyone else has to say. I started in Jan 200, have done 25%. There's no way that I can finish the exercises. I really hope OffSec will extend the deadline. Just do it. If you want the cert, just do it. I completed all the extra credit exercises for the old OSP before AD in early 2020. Maybe a few weeks after I finished the entire freaking packet, dropped the new AD course. I wanted the cert bad enough, so I did the whole packet all over again. Man, kudos to the squirrel eating pizza. The extra credit packet saved that because on my passing exam attempt, I got 60 points and a 10-point boost from the packet. Just do it. In other words, try harder. No, I appreciate that. I like that guy's attitude. Yeah, fair attitude, got a full-time job, other commitments. I mean, honestly, we all do. That is part of life. You really do have to discipline yourself. Like I said, it sucked. Like it was hard at times, but I still did it, and I'm grateful that I did it. We often have more time in a day than we think we do, but it's all about discipline, right? Disciplining your days, disciplining your schedule. Stop gaming, right? Start studying, spend your evenings doing that. If it's something you want bad enough, you'll figure out a way to do it. Scheduling your week, yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to start reading Reddit. What are you guys saying on Twitch? Yeah, that guy's in a similar situation like me. I mean, 8% by April is very realistic. If they take another month to finish those, then they might need to reassess time management. Dot Robin said, now if you have a full-time job and a family, we got an argument over in Twitch. I love it. Be nice to each other. Gamify hacking is more fun that way. Yeah, okay, my last part of my OffSec review, and then we'll dive into actual labs like I normally do when I'm on stream, is let's take a look, guys. I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen just because I don't know if I'm logged in to Hack the Box Academy or if I have to give my password and stuff. Hold up. Am I logged in? Okay, beautiful, I am. I will give you guys a quick overview of Hack the Box Academy so I can show you like what I mean by this. Here is what the Hack the Box Academy platform looks like. Now, I was a student at WGU, and the nice thing about WGU is when you graduate, you're able to keep your .edu email address. If you have a .edu email address, you can get a sub to Hack the Box Academy, get access to almost all their modules for $8 a month, which is an incredible price. If you don't have that, I think it's around $20 a month. Otherwise, you can also pay per module. Let me see what we all have here. Let's look at paths, because the path that would be closest to this is the pen testing path, which I haven't completed. I'm about 40% complete. Okay, so here is what it looks like in Hack the Box Academy. Kind of a big idea. We have the penetration testing process, which look at this, updated. These things are continually being updated. We have getting started. We have network enumeration, footprinting, information gathering, vulnerability assessment, file transfers, shells and payloads, Metasploit, password attacks, common services, pivoting, tunneling, port forwarding, AD enumeration and attacks, one of the best AD courses I've ever taken, using web proxies, web applications for FUF, brute forcing, SQL injection, SQL map, cross-site scripting, file inclusion, file upload, command injection, web attacks, attacking common apps, Linux Privesc, Windows Privesc, documentation and reporting, and attacking enterprise networks. These modules are so incredibly good. Let me give you guys a glance at like their AD module. This is what I use to study for the AD stuff on the exam, and it covers it in so much better detail than OffSec, at least when I took the PEN-200. So if I can show you guys, I don't know if I can zoom in a little bit because it looks pretty small. Here's our module sections. We have an introduction to Active Directory enumeration and attacks, tools of the trade. Each one of these boxes is an exercise. So this would be kind of like the flag exercises in the PEN-200. And I mean, you can just see how in-depth each one of these goes. I'll pull one of them up so you guys can see it and see how in-depth it really is. But then it closes with, I guess, what PEN-200 would call capstone. You have two full PEN-200, or not PEN-200, two full Active Directory networks that you can practice pen testing on. So Skills Assessment Part 1, full AD pen testing lab. Skills Assessment Part 2, full AD pen testing lab. Even if you do not have a sub to Hack the Box Academy, you can buy this course or this module for only $10. You get access to all of this for only $10. I think Hack the Box should obviously sponsor my Twitch channel because I'm talking about them. This is free, of course. They're not paying me to talk about them. How do I jump into one of these? I already completed the course. Can I like review it? Oh, view. So here's just like the introduction to Active Directory. You can see it's good content. And what I like about them is when they write this, they're doing it from the perspective of an actual pen test, right? During this engagement, I compromised a single host. Like they're telling stories that are actually really engaging. And if we look at some of the practical exercises, I don't want to give too much away to you guys, but let's jump into like, I don't know, domain trust, because that can be a confusing subject. We're given a good scenario, right? Many large orgs will acquire new companies over time and bring them into the fold. One way this is done is for ease of use, is to establish a trust relationship, explains domain trust, gives you all this information about it. And at the end of it, scroll. They actually teach Bloodhound as well. I don't think PEN-200 teaches Bloodhound. Maybe they do now. Could be wrong. But here we go. We can download a VPN connection so we can get connected to the Academy environment. You can spawn your own instance in the cloud of the attack box. And then we have target systems that we're spawning. Hopefully I'm not giving away too many flags to you guys. But target systems that you spawn so that you can practice this stuff yourself. And the one really cool thing about it is each one of these comes with a cheat sheet. You can download these in markup language, I believe, when you hit download. But what each one of these cheat sheet does, so every single module in Hack the Box Academy has a cheat sheet. On this cheat sheet, it's a very quick overview of everything the module covers. So then you don't even have to take all your own notes. It's still helpful. But like, look at this incredible cheat sheet that you can add to your notes that you have lifetime access to. And guess what, guys? When you buy a module through Hack the Box Academy, so if you purchase this module for $10, you get it for life. That means when they update the module, you get the updates. When they add new content, you get the new content. You don't have to pay more money just because they added to it. You paid for it once. Man, you got this for life. You got the cheat sheet for life. You have access to these environments for life. Incredible, incredible value. Okay, let me glance over at the chat, see if anyone like disagrees with me. Wyross said, Hack the Box does such a better job. I use it to supplement so many confusing modules, 100%. Mr. T. Pepper says, cheat code. Enroll in community college, don't take any classes, get a .edu address for like 3 years. Trust me, that $60 application fee pays for itself. Beautiful, man. Way to think like a hacker. And he says, and those don't even include the Hack the Boxes covering AD on their main platform. You're right. Wyross says, yeah, I like them just to make one darn sub for both platforms. I agree. That is kind of my beef against Hack the Box. They have really 3 platforms that I was confused by. So we have Hack the Box Academy, Hack the Box main platform, and also Hack the Box CTF. So like their CTF competition coming up, I had to make a separate account for that. So I have an account for Hack the Box Academy, an account for the Hack the Box main platform, and an account for Hack the Box CTF. It's very confusing. Just make like one account that covers both, and I'm sub to both their main platform and sub to their academy. So I agree. It would be nice to have just like one account for both. Ross said, yeah, for sure. It's the first time I actually read their content. It flows so nicely. And don't you get cubes for completing it too? I think you get cubes if you are, well, I don't really know how the cubes go. You can use the cubes to buy stuff, I believe, like to buy other modules. But because I have the student subscription, I get access to like everything without the cube. So like if I even look at modules, I get everything, like unlimited access to everything up to like, I have all of tier 2 stuff. You can see part of student subscription, part of student subscription. So, I mean, I have unlimited access to all of this except for tier 3, I think. Yeah, so that's where I need the cubes. So that's where I could spend my cubes. I got 233 of them. So if I got a little more, instead of spending real money, I could spend cubes and get some of this stuff. So with the student sub, you get access, unlimited access to everything up to tier 3, which once again, I think is an incredible deal. Let's see. Mr. T Pepper says, yeah, not enough to pay for itself, but doing 5 to 6 courses pays for one small module. And Wyra said all with MFA too. Yeah, like I still don't think PEN-200 or like offensive security, I'm quite sure hasn't even implemented MFA for their platform, which you think like the premier pen testing platform would have multi-factor authentication on, but oh well. I think that kind of covers my review of the new PEN-200 stuff. Hopefully I wasn't too harsh on OffSec. Once again, OSCP, hands down, is the most valuable certification you could get today if you want to get into pen testing. There's just some frustrations that go with that, and it is what it is. But Hack the Box Academy, I cannot recommend it more highly. I found it super helpful for my own learning. I'm still going through it just for myself, but really helpful for prepping for the OSCP. I did a lot of the stuff on here I was unfamiliar with, and I passed the exam. So I'm going to assume like it worked. It was a win. It worked out well. So, hey guys, here's what we are going to do. This is kind of part 1 of the stream, and we are going to take a 5-minute break. At the end of our 5-minute break, we'll jump back into it, and we're going to do some hands-on stuff. My plan is to finish the second part of the OWASP Top 10 on TryHackMe. They released an updated version of OWASP Top 10. I did part 1 in my stream last week, and hopefully we can finish the rest of the module in the stream this week. So guys, let's take a 5-minute break, stand up, walk around, and we will be back to the hacking shortly.